Hello, YouTube. It has been a minute. I've been busy, but I'm sure a lot of you already know what I've been busy with. Link in the description. Anyway, I asked a bunch of my NPC cohorts a long time ago to give me some questions to answer in a new Q&A format to celebrate 1,000 hours of watch time on the YouTube channel. The issue is that it has taken me so long to get back on the project that I'm now closer to 2k hours, so some of the branding and graphics on the video might not make sense anymore. I'm really sorry. Thank you to all the amazing people who submitted questions. Let's get into it, starting with the one and only Dot Thunder.
In your opinion, what makes Warframe worth making videos about?
Thank you, Thunder, for the amazing question, and I think that my immediate answer is just that DE are really bad at onboarding players. At least historically. I know that they've done a lot better recently with things like the Teacher, but they also didn't really explain combined elements in the Teacher. I also think that a lot of Warframe's game design really lends itself to making things sound better than they are in principle, such as combined elements, right? A lot of new players will think, well, if heat is really good and electricity is really good, then surely, radiation is going to be really good. And then you use radiation, and it's actually worse than the sum of its parts. In the same way that electricity on its own is probably one of the best elements in the game. And I also think things like heat inherit is just not even touched upon in the game. And I really struggled to play Warframe when I first got into it back in 2017, and even going forward into 2020. So I think that a community that explains the game's concepts in a way that is super digestible is totally, and honestly, all-encompassingly important to the ecosystem of a game being playable. And next up we have the amazing little Harpy VT. Please take it away, Harpy.
Hey, Chili. Congratulations on your amazing milestone, and I just wanted to say we appreciate and love you. Now for the question. Since you create a lot of Warframe content, I wanted to know what Warframe do you associate with the most? AKA, if you were isekai'd into the Warframe universe, which Warframe would be your choice if you could choose?
If I was isekai'd, what Warframe would I choose to be? That is a super interesting question, because I feel like, from a meta perspective, Revenant would probably be the answer, because Revenant can't die, right? But then as an operator, what Warframe would I want to have? And it's I don't know, I feel as a big guy, I would either be Rhino or Kulavo or someone really tanky. But also, I really like Lavos, and I love his super intelligent alchemy-based design. And I also like Uriel. I also really like Oberon, his rework is really cool. Nidus's retouch is really cool. I definitely don't think I'd be one of the slimmer frames like Volt or Ash, because I am, if you've seen my streams, I'm a big guy. I definitely think I would have to settle on Lavos, specifically the Kimia skin Lavos. I think that drip is absolutely immaculate, and he has infinite potential for greatness. And next up we have the absolute legend, Tinky14. Thank you very much for the question.
Hey Chili, Stinky here. I guess my first question for you is, what's the deal with beans and why are British people so obsessed with them? And my second question, Warframe related. As a baby Tenno, I have no idea what to do after finishing the story, so what would you recommend?
Thank you, Stinky, for the great pair of questions, actually. To answer the first one, I think it's long overtold at this point, but a lot of British food comes from the fact that we were in various forms of rationing for about 60 years, from World War I to the late 1950s, due to extended rationing culture, just to help the UK get back on its feet. Beans are a good source of protein, complex carbs, and UK beans are made to be savoury, not sweet like American beans. I also think that it's honestly just a bit more of a meme than it actually is. I can't remember the last time I actually ate beans on toast. I still have beans in my cupboard, but I prefer other dishes usually. For the second question though, there is a really easy answer and there's an answer that's probably a lot more palatable. The easy answer is simply, if you finish a story, objective is to finish the star chart. Just go around your Origin System star chart, complete all the nodes, finish off all the planets and unlock Steel Path. However, what I did was go through the list of warframes and weapons like a Pokédex and just start knocking things off, figuring out what you like, what you enjoy, the play styles that you really, really want to get into, and just sort of take everything in the game for a test drive, which is the more expensive answer, but also the most fun answer in my opinion, because being told just to beat the star chart can be a bit of knocking off a checklist in a bad way, whereas doing all your warframes and weapons is a bit more of a, 400 course taster menu. Next up, we have Alpine. Thank you for the question, Alpine. Take it away.
Hey Chili, congrats on 1,000 hours of watch time. I have 2 questions for you. One, what got you into YouTube and streaming, and what is your favorite thing of each of them? And then my second question is, if you had to play just one Warframe for the rest of your life, but you're allowed to switch builds and use helmet abilities, what frame would that be?
Thank you for the questions, Alpine. That's honestly another great pair of questions. The content creation one is really complicated because I have been making YouTube videos on and off since about 2012. I was very young. I used to do like little stick pivot animations way long ago in YouTube poops and stuff like that. All those videos are long gone, but if you actually check the date on my channel, you'll notice that it's very old. This is the same channel I've been using since those days. I've also been streaming for a very long time. I think, honestly, I just wanted to get into it because I didn't have a lot of friends who played video games way so long ago, and I started streaming as a way to like try and connect with people who are into the same things I were. And also, I've always had a little bit of like an entertainer kick in me. I remember wanting to be a clown when I was very young, and just having that drive to sort of, entertain people. And I guess there was a little bit of a like an ego thing there, seeing celebrities on TV and thinking to myself, I could probably do something like that. And I think that is where it comes in overall. I have been in and out of content many times throughout the course of my life, whether it be making Warframe tutorials or funny compilation videos, or again, back in the day, stick pivot animations. It's just, I've always had a creative video part of my body. And in terms of the Warframe question, I genuinely think it would have to be Octavia. I think her kit is, I would say, definitively boring on its own, but there are very many ways to like make her versatile, play with her in interesting ways, like subsuming a Terrify over her 3, or like Nourish over her 2, or even like Aqua Blades over her 2 or something like that. There's a load of like fundamental changes you can make to her kit to keep her interesting and unique, but also still be good. Next up, we are going to be answering a question from Hot Ice. Thank you, Hot Ice. You have the floor.
Hey Chili, Hot Ice here. I love the content and congrats on the 1K watch time, bud. A 3-part question for you. Who was your biggest YouTube influence to make you want to do videos? What is your favorite frame to play? And lastly, if you could watch one movie for the rest of your life, what movie would that be?
Thank you, Hot Ice, for the amazing... I keep saying it, but all these questions have been really good so far. My biggest YouTube influence is probably either Cool Kid 369 or Socratetris. They're both really, like, massively influential YouTube creators who do really good, like, analytical content on Warframe, be it Cool Kid with, like, mechanics and stuff, or Socratetris with the lore. They're both hugely aspirational content creators for me, and I genuinely think anyone who plays Warframe should watch, like, both of them, if I'm being honest. The favourite frame to play question is really difficult to answer, because honestly, it kind of changes week by week. I'd say Lavos has held my attention for some of the longest, but Octavia was my main for a very, very long time, purely because of her, like, music aesthetic. I've also really enjoyed playing with Gaia, I've really enjoyed Kulavo, I've really enjoyed, like, Citrine. This actually a really difficult, I think Dagoth is also, like, a really good contender there, but I think it would have to go to my homegirl Octavia. She has been my main since 2017 when she first came out. She is, like, the most played Warframe on my entire account, even though it hasn't been recently, but lifetime overall most frequent, and I just love her, like, music aesthetics and, like, music imagery. And for the movie, I actually had to, like, walk away from my mic and, like, hash this one out in real life, but I definitely would have to give it to Howl's Moving Castle. I think Ghibli movies are a really, really integral part of my childhood, and I get very nostalgic for Howl's Moving Castle. I actually watched it again a few months ago, and it brought tears to my eyes the same way it did when I was a kid, so yeah, Howl's Moving Castle. Next up, we have a question from Ball Priest Eve over on Discord. It's a message, so I'll read it out here. What is your opinion on the diminishing returns argument when it comes to modding weapons and warframes in the game? I find that it's not as simple as some people make out to be, and I'm curious to hear what a veteran player has to say on the matter. Thank you, Ball Priest Eve, for the question. I will say initially, like, it might be outing myself as, like, a LARPer or something, but I'd never really heard of the diminishing returns argument before, and then I looked it up and I realized exactly why. What I'll say is that diminishing returns is more so just a thing that people do when they're trying to... Like the whole diminishing returns argument is based entirely around getting the most value per mod slot on a weapon or warframe, right? And it's like, oh yeah, if you combine this mod and this mod, you get this much value, but if you combine these two mods, you get way more value, and if you have, like, one mod that doubles if you have one mod that doubles your weapon damage, then that is, like, 2xing, but then if you have another mod that then takes it into triple, then you've actually diminished the first mod that you put in, because now they both do 1.5x instead of the first one doing 2x, and it's like, I guess I can see like the maths there. However, what I will say is that Warframe isn't a game that requires min-maxing. I do level cap, I do elite weeklies, I do all sorts of funky shit. I take Deviri to cap, I take Cascade to cap. I've done multiple times on stream. A lot of these principles of diminishing returns and trying to get the most value for your mods just isn't necessary, and is honestly only for the people who are doing, like, 16-hour survivals. Like, I do Cascade all the time. None of my Warframes are really all that optimized. I think that in terms of the diminishing returns argument, I think that it's not an argument people really need to have. Warframe is very strongly a game of power fantasy, and I think that there's enough power in the game to keep that fantasy alive without having to do Excel spreadsheets and chart things out, like, oh, but what if you use galvanized chamber versus a galvanized hell? You know, it's like, it doesn't matter, man. You're gonna be powerful enough to do Cascade no matter what you do. Like, you're gonna be powerful enough to hit level cap in Cascade regardless of how sweaty your build is, as long as you are building around your fundamentals. Thank you for the question, Eve. Next up, we're going to be talking to Mr. Coach. Sub him out, Coach. Coach, or sub for short. Thank you very much, Coach. Have the floor.
Chili! Happy fucking birthday, brother. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for all the love. Thank you for all the support. You're awesome, bro. You're truly, truly fucking awesome. My question for you today. Let's see. You know, I had a lot. This was hard. This was really hard. What led up to you falling in love with content creation? Was it a moment with a supporter, with a peer? What necessarily made you know that this was for you? Absolutely love you, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you for everything. Can't wait to see this video.
Thank you for the question, Coach. I'm so sorry this took so long. You said you were so excited to see the video, and I'm looking at the date thinking it's been 2 months since my birthday, man. Right, this one is really difficult. It's another one that I had to sort of step away and, like, hash this out with myself and my husband, actually, because It's a question that I struggle to answer sometimes, but I think it does go back to the thing I said earlier in the video about like wanting to be a clown when I was younger and being an entertainer. I think what made like the initial rush of making content with Warframe Academy was explaining concepts that I really struggled with and seeing people in the comments go, "Oh, thank you so much, this is a great video, you've really explained this to me," and being like the help that I wanted to see in the Warframe community and like spreading the love around. And I think now that I've spent just over a month streaming, 2 months actually, just over 2 months, I think what really makes it valuable for me is seeing like the same names, like all my regulars in chat, like Notcat, Soru, Kine, Rosalind, Jaheim. I'm probably forgetting many people, but like seeing all my regulars like pop in all the time, you know? And saying like, "Yay, Chili's live," or "I can't wait to see your take on this, I can't wait to see you play that," and just feeling like I, in some way, have improved someone's day, a group of people's days, you know, and the happiness I've put out into the world is greater than the sum of my parts as one person. You know, it's like spreading that love around, I think, is genuinely the thrill for me. I don't want to like go into content creation thinking I'm going to make like £1 million or I'm going to be like Mr. Beast or something. But if I can make a few people happy and like distract them from like the weariness of the world, then that's good enough for me. And last but not least, we have the man, the myth, the future president, Senator Dongo. Please take it away.
Mr. Chili, I would like to start off by saying congratulations on 1,000 hours watched on YouTube. That's a massive milestone, and I know for a fact you'll be getting millions more down the line in the near future. Here today, I have to make things complicated, of course. I don't have one question, I have 3 questions. We'll start with question number 1. Why haven't you made more 60-second short-form education videos for someone like myself with a slug brain? I think that content is golden, and I need more because that is the only way that I'm going to be able to inject knowledge into my brain. Question 2. What is the lore behind the worm in the Deviri? I need to know. I refuse to look it up. I will only be educated by you and you only. Question number 3. Not Warframe related, but you probably know where I'm going with this. When can we expect a Spud review video from you? I need it. I need a loaded Spud with beans, tuna, cheese, garlic butter, the whole lot. I need it. I need to see it, and I will not go anywhere until I see it. Congratulations again, Chili.
So this is a set of really interesting questions that I'm going to have to take one by one, so if there's cuts, that's why. To start off, the 60-second YouTube Shorts tutorials. Actually, I can answer this one really easily, although it is kind of depressing. I made a few. I made the one with Barricadier, and I made the one about Deviri, and then I made one about my top 5 most suggested Subsume abilities, right, with the Helminth. And I think I put so much time and love into that video, and it got, I genuinely think in the first like week, it did like under 100 views. And I think I saw those returns and thought to myself like, damn, that just isn't worth it. And it's absolutely the wrong mindset to have when it comes to that, right? Because as long as, you know, the less than 100 people that actually saw the video got something out of it, then that's great, right? But I was very, very like disheartened by like I'm not going to say the poor response, because the response was good from the people who saw it. It's just that YouTube didn't push it out to anyone, and I must have done something wrong in the editing of that video or something for YouTube to not push it at all. Like less than 100 impressions is unheard of to me. But that's like genuinely why I started making them. The Subsume video did nothing for me as a creator, and I thought, well, there's no point in putting these videos out if no one's watching them, which is wrong. It's wrong of me, but that's the genuine truth. Next up, the Aura Worm, right? So the Aura Worms are really interesting because we've seen them all over the place in Warframe, but they are from Deviri. They are specifically what the courtiers become once they've like experienced an overwhelming rush of emotion, right? That's why The different cycles in Deveria centered around emotion, see more in my Deveri short. But the aura worms are what they become when they become like racked with like grief or pride or compassion or loneliness or optimism, and they like explode into this Orokin creature, like the worm, the WYRM, is like a dragon, right? A limbless dragon. And I think it's because Duviri itself is actually a storybook written by Mother in Deimos. And so naturally, if it's written by an Orokin, then it's going to have like really Orokin elements. And one of the biggest parts of Orokin like culture is transformation and revitalization and continuity, right? So it is like, they're very campy and it's meant to be a children's storybook. Like, whoa, he exploded. His emotions were personified into a dragon. And that's what like Deviri is. You can also see them like around like Voidfisher missions and stuff, because obviously the Void takes place in the same reality as the reality that the Origin system is in, right? With some crossover, meaning that every so often, if you do like an Empyrean Voidfisher mission and you see an Aura Worm in the Void around your Railjack, it's implying that all of the stuff that's happening in Deviri is also happening at the same time as, you know, you're happening in the Origin system, which is a really cool, I think, like, quality of the game. But yeah, it's the manifestation of negative emotions. And for the Spud thing, that is potentially coming to a short near you, is the most I'm going to say about that. But thank you very much, everyone, for your amazing questions. Please, all of the creators will be linked in the description. It's been an absolute pleasure answering some questions from these people. Well, all of them, from all of the people, but you know what I mean. Have a lovely, lovely day. Patrons shouted out above, thank you so much to everyone who has supported me coming this far, and hopefully this is me getting back on the horse and making more videos again in the future.